I'm going to tell you what's really going to happen, not by the daily basis or weekly basis, but I got a damn good suspicion of what's coming up. I think we're going to have a repeat in 2014, 2015, very much analogous to what happened in 2010, 2011, for a number of reasons. First off, we know about the financial, the FATCA, the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, right? And that's been going into effect as of July 1st, 2015. Now, the other thing is the silver fix will be dead. I'm actually reading from this. It will be dead on August 14th, 2015. Deutsche Bank is one of the three banks setting the price for the metal, for silver, since 1999. Actually, has been playing games with this price of this metal for a long time. They recently announced that it was resigning from the fixing panel, and they're largely exiting the commodities business. So the silver fix is over with, or starting to be over with, August 14, 2014. And, you know, there could be other games going on where people are hoarding metals too, and they'll dump them on the market later on. So, I just have to state this, though. The major media actually is kind of stating that the Ukraine situation seems to be diffusing. But, you know, from the price of palladium, I'm not really seeing it. I don't know, it dropped $1 today. It's still the highest it's been pretty much in years. So I don't know exactly what they mean by that, but maybe, maybe not. It's kind of telling me something else. But they're saying the Ukraine situation's kind of diffused, says Putin's going to honor the Ukrainian national borders, and the only thing they're taking is Crimea. Now, I don't know if that's actually going to be the catalyst that's actually going to drive things up. There's a hot spot going on in Libya, too. There is. Again, you know, there might be civil war in Libya. That'll drive the price up again. Now, I've seen other things, not pastors or anybody predicting this, but an actual expert in the industry. He's predicting oil to be about $120 a barrel by the end of the summer. Now, I'm thinking is, well, there's a hot spot with oil, but, you know, also the silver fix is over with, then you got the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act. That could be driving gold up. That could be driving gold up. But here's the caveat, what I want to tell you that's different from the other people out there. I always say is well, it's not necessarily what goes up must come down, but what goes up too fast is going to get a correction. And you notice what happened in 2010. I think it was around September it started taking off. People were like, and then even in 2010 when it hit 30, people were like, thought it was too high. And then several months later it hit 47, 48 around there, right? And like at the end of April 2011. But you know, when it was going up that fast, everybody was convinced it was going to hit 100. Amazing. Well, it can actually go through that 50 this time. The trouble is, I don't really know how much it's going to go through to 50. This is what I'm thinking. But you see, this is where I actually think I know something, because they're telling me it. They're telling it to me by, you know, the 4 blood moons is this astrological event. Not that I believe in astrology, but I think things are being moved sometimes in the markets. Not all the time, but according to astrology. Actually, J.P. Morgan himself, I think he said that millionaires think astrology is garbage, and billionaires are actually the ones that pay attention to it. I don't really know how true that was, or was something he said, but I have a tendency to think that it's not the astrology that's doing something, that's making the markets move. It's that there's other forces going on to move it that way in accordance with astrology. Because, you know, I'll point, you know, back in my in the notes on the bottom of this video, you'll see about the oil spot price rigging that's been going on for over 10 years, and the people that are that were involved in a lawsuit, like a formal head of the NYMEX. You know, these aren't like lightweight people or even traders. They're talking about people that are on the inside. So if they're doing it in the oil, they're doing it in everything. I mean, you got to be an idiot not to know that the price of even oil is on a spot market isn't being manipulated. You have to be an idiot not to know that. But without being a conspiracy buff or anything like that. Now, the other thing is, I know there was religious predictions about the next financial reset will be, or reset or down catastrophe, and it makes sense even by like, just cycles. We have, everybody forgets that there's a recession every so many years, and it's like clockwork. They forget there's going to be a recession every so many years, and that's what happens. I mean, it's waves. It's booms and busts, right? Well, the next one is predicted to be on the 7th year of the Jewish calendar, or the Hebrew calendar, in September 2015. To coincide, they're about pretty close to the 4th blood moon. So I'm thinking, anybody knows that when everything goes down, say there's a financial problem in the markets and all the markets go down and all this garbage by that time, well, that the price of silver and gold and everything is going to get slammed too. So I'm thinking it's all going to go up before that time and take a major correction. I think the next time it goes up, it's going to go way through 50, and it's going to be slammed down to like at least the low 40s or something, or probably into the 30s again, before it starts doing its thing again a few years later, 2017, 2018. But this is the way silver is. Silver don't go up in a nice smooth, linear line. It just goes exponential. And then it corrects, and it sits flat, and then it does the same damn thing all over again. You look all the way back. It's a lot easier looking at a chart on silver if you're looking at it in an exponential form, where you're seeing percentage moves. When it goes up to $8 was a super big height at one point in time, and 22 was a super big height, but exponentially it was making large percentage moves, right? So I'm just saying that. I expect, first off, just the prediction about the oil. I don't know. I heard this from this. It's not a pastor, but it's somebody in the oil industry. I read that. I don't know. Okay, it's not somebody I know. That I know he's been wrong, but he's. I kind of look at some of the situation in the Middle East and things that are going on. It could anytime. But the two big things is the silver fix is over with. They're not going to be able to fix they're not going to fix the price of silver anymore. They're actually they're under so much scrutiny, and part of that is from this ongoing lawsuit from the regarding the oil price fixing. It's related to everything. It's all the commodities. It's been going on for 10 years, this lawsuit actually. And the other thing is with the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act. That means a lot of people are probably going to start moving out of the dollar, even though there's some exceptions to that act where they don't have to be in compliance if they show hardship for some of these banks. If they can prove hardship, where it will be for like until January 2016, because I think the IRS knows they're probably shooting themselves in the foot on that damn thing. Now, I want to actually go over something else. I'm not going to say the name of the site because actually I think I forgot it, but I could have looked it up. But it's better if I don't even say the name of the site. It's some site on YouTube that's showing like the coming of the Lord and God, and they got all these people with either the mark on their hand and a mark on their forehead, and they're saying that's the mark of God, right? Well, I'm going to tell you how disinformation works, man, because it's like, when you're that damn obvious, you're freaking trying to, people are already figuring out that's the mark of the beast, right? They would know whatever, or they would think that, or whatever the hell it is, right? It's some kind of like triangular thing with some squigglies on it or something. And this site is also saying that the Alex Jones and Jesse Ventura and David Icke are disinformation agents. I'm going to tell you those guys are. I think they are. But it's almost like when that site tells you that, you're looking at this site with the market, with this alleged mark of the beast, and they're trying to tell you that's the mark of God, and you're going to be saved, and everything's going to be great again, or whatever the hell they're pushing. And when you're looking at that, and they're telling you that, David Icke and Alex Jones and Jesse Ventura are disinformation agents, it's making everybody run to them as the truth, so you understand what the disinformation is. You know, it's like scam one to scam two. You know, they are disinformation agents. They are disinformation agents. And they're making you run that way to them as the truth because they're realizing, oh, these other guys are evil. And there's all kinds of games going on, man. There are disinformation agents. Holy shit. It's obvious to me. Anyway, I don't know. I think things are actually fairly simple, you know. It's called a good old productivity, you know, working together and don't have a panic attack about every damn thing and sticking with the actual Bill of Rights, which guarantees the individual rights of every American in this land. And that's really about as simple as it's got to be, right? So, anyway, but I do think that we're going to have this radical run-up in silver. You know, I could very much, I don't know if it's going to lockstep exactly coincide with 2010, 2011, but, you know, it almost kind of looks like that. Because, you know, they're talking about the $120 oil by the end of the summer. I don't know if that's true or not. That's not a Lindsey Williams prediction. This is another guy. This is like another pastor. He's in the oil industry. I don't want to say his name. And it's not somebody I know. It's something I read about. But you look at that, you know, that very much, because I said operating expenses with mines, 50% of it about is energy and diesel fuel. So if oil goes up, if they're on bare bones operating expenses just to keep the cash flow going, so to keep the doors open, they're going to have to be charging more money no matter what. They will stop giving you out silver if oil goes way the hell up. They will, you know. So unless they get their price. So the other thing is the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act that has to be in compliance with by July 1st, 2014. And then the silver fix thing is, you know, I wasn't even paying attention. I thought it was BS rumor, but I guess it's true. It's not a BS rumor. The silver fix thing is over with as of August 14th, 2014. So that's all coinciding. So you're thinking, wow, silver could really take off like a rocket. But then I started thinking about the 4 blood moons theory, and you know, not that I believe this, but it's, and the other thing with the 7 years on a Hebrew calendar. You know, it was 9/11/2011. That was a financial crisis during the 9/11. The markets all went down, especially the airline stocks. And then September 29th, 2008, that was the bottom of the financial crisis for 2008-2009. 7 years later on a Hebrew Jewish calendar, September 2015. If that's all, you know, I mean, there's religious people telling you this stuff. There's religious people telling you about the, you know, 4 blood moons. They're telling you about the 7-year cycles. And then there's also just plain old economic cycles with recessions that they happen over every so many, you know, 5 years or something. It's kind of like jives with everything else, right? And so you're thinking is if silver does go up this fast and all the stops are off of it that are holding it back, you know, stops in a way that, I mean, the brakes are off of it. Not the stops, I guess that's a bad word to use. The brakes are off silver. The prices were just going to really skyrocket. Well, what could bring them down? The predictions of September 2015. Not that I'm superstitious on this stuff. It's just that I realize that I think that's the real powers play people by putting this kind of information out, and then they move the market a certain way, and they make it happen. You know, I can tell you that Pat Robinson was out on this on some video on YouTube. I don't know if you can find it, if you search for it, maybe. But I think he was talking in January of 2008 about a major financial crisis coming up. He was right. He was right. He was saying it was because of, you know, religion, and he told all the reasons why. But you know, I think these things come up because they're planned, and you know, it reaffirms the other things that everybody have to believe in. You know, the religious thing, the astrological thing, or whatever the hell they're going to do, and it keeps people in line. That's what I think goes on. I think somebody's actually freaking. You know, I'll give you an example too, like with the speed of computers. You know, you talk about the, you the front running and how they could possibly lead the market or even move the market and influence the market and stuff. If you look on YouTube someplace, you can find about quantum computing. Quantum computing is, they have normal computers have a 0 or a 1. Quantum computer is a 0 or 1, and both is 0 and a 1. The computing on that stuff is exponentially stronger than, than any other computer out there. It's like if you had, like in the olden days when you had an array of Cray supercomputers, that quantum computer is many, 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 many times faster. They got to like super cool the chip so the atoms float nice and steady or something. I don't even know what the hell they got to do. It's something. They say that computer can store more information than all the atoms in the visible universe. That's how powerful it is. Do you think it can't freaking move markets? If they're going to be using that. So like I said, people, and like I said, if they make an event happen in coordination with this and that, it keeps all the masses in line. So I have a big suspicion that silver's going to take off like a rocket in 2014, 2015, and it's going to be kind of analogous to what happened in 2010 and 2011. It's going to come down, bounce a little bit, then have another crash in September of 2015, like it had in September of 2011, and I don't know if it's going to be a crash exactly in, say, early May of 2015. I don't know. I mean, that would coincide with May of 2011, or right at the very end of April of 2011. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be day by day lockstep, but I think it's going to pretty much be fairly close. So do beware of this. I think I'm the only one saying this, and I don't know this for a fact, but I know if silver jumps way the hell over 50, solidly over 50, some of the physical stuff is going bye-bye. I know that. So anyway, over and out. Just want to give you this advice because I don't know if that's going to be the correct advice, but that's what I'll be doing if that happens. Because I don't be thinking that's going up too quick. It's going to happen. And that doesn't mean it's not going to go higher. But I think where the real big height is going to be 2017, 2018. That's what I think. Okay, over and out.